Hello, today I just want to cover the results from Lab 3. And some of you had questions about it, so here are the solutions here, and this would actually be Lab 3 solutions. And if you have any other questions after I go through this, just please feel free to contact me. Number one, we want to factor x squared plus 2x minus 99 is equal to 0. So we find factors of 99 that could sum up to 2, which will be 9 and 11. So we end up with x plus 11 times x minus 99, and we set that equal to 0. And we have to solve this equation after we factor it. So we set each one of these factors equal to 0 and then solve for x. So x is going to be negative 11, or x minus 9 is equal to 0. X is going to be 9, so negative 11 and 9 will be your answers there. Let's look at problem 2. Problem 2 is a word problem. It says ABC charges, and they give us what ABC charges in XYZ. How many minutes of phone calls in a month make XYZ phone company a better deal? So what I want here is I want XYZ to be less than ABC, and it's a better deal for me. XYZ charges $10 per month plus 11 cents per minute, and ABC charges $16 per month plus 9 cents per minute. So I'll solve this equation in terms of x. So I subtract 10 from both sides here, so I actually end up with 0.02x is less than 6, and then if I divide by 0.02, I end up with x is less than 300. So in order for XYZ to be a better deal, it must be less than 300 minutes. I hope you figured that one out. Let's look at number 3. We want to solve the quadratic equation by the method of your choice. So they give us 6x squared plus 10x is equal to a negative 3, and so we want to set this equal to 0. So we have 6x squared plus 10x plus 3 is equal to 0. So you can actually use any method to solve, and I'm going to use the quadratic formula. I know many of you use graphing, and you can solve by graphing as well. Just put this equation into your graphing calculator. But according to the quadratic equation, x is equal to minus b, which b is 10, plus or minus the square root of b squared, minus 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which would be 3, all divided by 2 times a. And we end up with minus 10 plus or minus the square root of 28 over 12. We can simplify the square root of 28 to be 2 square root of 7 over 12, and then we can simplify this expression down by dividing it by 2. So we end up with minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 7 over 6. And so that will be our final solution there. We get minus 5 plus the square root of 7 over 6, minus 5 minus the square root of 7 over 6. If you did it by method of graphing, you get an approximate answer. Let's look at number 4. Number 4, we want to solve the rational equation. We have 1 over x minus 4 plus 1 over 4x minus 16 is equal to 5 over 4. So I'm going to factor the second rational expression in the denominator, so I factor out a 4 and I get x minus 4 there is equal to 5/4. Now at this point I find my least common denominator, which will be 4 times x minus 4. So I'm going to multiply each expression times 4 minus x times x minus 4. So I'm going to get 4 times x minus 4 times this expression. It'll be 1 over x minus 4 plus, and then I'll take the 4 times x minus 4 and I'll multiply it times, and I'm doing that to get rid of the rational expression, to get rid of the denominator actually, and then I'll take the 4 times x minus 4 and I'll multiply it times 5/4. Now at this point I can cancel some things out. I can cancel the x minus 4 out. I can cancel 4 and 4, x minus 4 and x minus 4, and then 4 here and 4 there. So what I'm left with is 4 times 1, which will be 4, plus 1, because you actually have everything cancels here, so this will be plus 1 is equal to, and I'll take the x minus 4 and multiply it times 5, so I have 5x minus 20. And then at this point I simplify down and I solve for x, and so I get x is equal to 5. So x will be 5 for that particular answer there. Let's look at number 5. Number 5 gives us a graph of the percentage of urban and suburban population in 2000, and it tells us that urban gonna decrease by 2.4% each year, and suburban is going to increase by 2.4% each year. So at that point I want to approximate at what point are they going to be equal. So you're going to have two equations equal to each other. So I'm actually going to have 4 plus 2.4x is equal to 71 minus 2.4x. So I actually picked a point in the year 2000, and then so I'll solve for x. I get 4.8x is equal to 67. So x is going to be approximately 13.968 and 333. So we're going to get approximately 14 years here. So our answer would be 2014. So approximately 2014 is when the population will be the same. Let's look at number 6. We have there are 22 more sophomores than juniors in an 8 o'clock algebra class. If 76 students in the class, if there are 76 students in the class, find the number of sophomores and the number of juniors. So what we have here is that we have sophomores is going to equal the juniors plus 22, and the sophomores plus the juniors will equal 76. So I actually do a substitution here. I substitute in for s j plus 22, and I'm going to get plus j is equal to 76, and I solve for j, so I end up with j is 27. So if j is 27, s is going to equal 27 plus 22, which will be 49. So I get 27 and 49 will be my answer there. Let's look at number 7. We have two cars that are leaving an intersection. One car travels north and the other one east. When the cars are traveling north had gone 9 miles, and the distance between the cars was 3 miles more than the distance traveling how far east bound. So you can actually use Pythagorean theorem here, and you can draw up your triangle with your right angle, and of course this will be north here, traveling 9 miles north, and d is unknown to us, and then our hypotenuse is going to be d plus 3 miles there. So we can set it up. We can use a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So in this case we have 9 squared plus d squared is going to be d plus 3 squared, and so we actually solve for d, and we'll end up with 72 is equal to 6d. D is going to be 12. so it'd be 12 miles. So you can use Pythagorean theorem to calculate that particular problem there. Problem 8, want to solve the linear inequality. It gives us 2x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 10. So if we add 8 to both sides, because we want to solve for x, we get 2x is greater than or equal to 18. We divide by 2 here, so we get x is greater than or equal to 9. And we can actually write this in set notation by putting it 9 and going to infinity. And on the graph, you would have at 9, you'd actually have your bar, your bracket there, and the arrow going towards positive infinity. Problem 9, we want to solve the absolute value inequality. So we have the absolute value of x plus 7 is greater than 0. So because of absolute value, we can have two possible solutions. We can have x plus 7 is greater than 0, or x plus 7 is less than 0. So if we solve for x, we have x is greater than negative 7, or x is going to be less than negative 7. So what we end up with is an inequality that does not include negative 7. So we have all values but negative 7. So we can actually write this in set notation. It's going from negative infinity to negative 7, and it does not include negative 7, and from negative 7 it does not include negative 7 to positive infinity. And on the graph at negative 7, you would actually have an open circle, and you have an arrow in the direction going towards positive infinity and one going towards negative infinity. And then problem number 10 is our last problem here. When making a long distance phone call, a certain company pays phone. The first 3 minutes of the call costs $2.30. After that, each additional minute will cost 20 cents. Use the inequality to find the number of minutes for one call. So we're going to let x equals the number of minutes, and if we set this equation up, we're going to have 2.3 or $2.30 plus. This is where most of you made the mistake. You want to factor in the first 3 minutes, so we're going to take x minus 3. Anything over that is going to cost us 20 cents, and that's going to equal 4.30. And of course we solve this equation for x, and once you solve it for x, you'll end up with 13 minutes is your final answer there. So this concludes our answer choices from Lab 3, and I hope that this was very helpful for you and will help you on your exam to come. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.